evening and welcome back. Well, 'tis the season, it's election time again, so of course these smear pieces are going to come out. And we've even had one about the Labour Party, of course, recently, saying, 20 months ago, almost 2 years ago, when you were with a load of journalists, you were singing the lyrics, Hey Jude, to the tune Hey Jude, and that's clearly anti-Semitic. So hang on. 2 years ago, with journalists, and you didn't mention it then, as in Dan Carden. No, I'm going to go with didn't happen. But back in the world of reality, and as unhinged as it is, general election 2019, Tory peer accuses Hancock of whitesplaining. Yes, why don't you throw in mansplaining as well? Why not? Why don't you just throw in some more divisions? Why not bring in identity politics even more? Just to try and demonize anybody and everybody by belonging to a particular group. Why not be even more tribal? And so we can regress back to an inferior society whereby it's all based on tribal lines and we can't get anything done worthwhile at all. Why not do that? Because that's definitely healthy. Or seeing as everything is something splaining, what about someone you break up with trying to tell you that it's all your fault? Yes, they would clearly then be explaining. Hang on. So, Health Secretary Matt Hancock has been accused of whitesplaining by Tory peer Saeeda Hawasi after he said others in the party took a more balanced approach on Islamophobia than her. The phobia, of course, meaning fear of, but it doesn't mean that anymore, does it? It means hate of instead. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, because when we bastardize words like that without understanding it, the distinction and the understanding of the word is no longer clear, and therefore now this seems to mean hate of instead of just afraid of. If someone's arachnophobic, does that mean they hate spiders or they are afraid of them? And if someone's Islamophobic, what about then? Or do you actually mean people who are afraid of Islam? Because what is the word then? Because there are people, and myself included, are afraid of more radical sect strains like Wahhabism, strains of Islam, and that would be an example. Yes, I'm a bit afraid of people amassing together, being able to push an agenda of which would strike me down for not adhering to Islam, because I'm rather afraid of that. I wouldn't go down without a fight, but nonetheless, that would surely make me Islamophobic, at least in that term. It doesn't mean that I hate Islam, though, just if I'm afraid of it. But anyway, to the story in mind, Baroness Warsi has repeatedly criticised the party's response to Islamophobia in its own ranks. If you move to a country and you don't like that country, then don't stay in that country. Why don't you go to a place where you feel happier? The old idiom goes, go back to where you came from. Why not? Or, if you're in a country and you don't like it, then why don't you go to a country which suits you better? How about that? If the UK decides to continue its turmoil and its spiral of decline, then I'll be gallivanting off because I much prefer Japan. On Friday, Boris Johnson appeared to rule out an independent inquiry specifically into Islamophobia. Good. They shouldn't be getting special treatment. He said the party would hold a general investigation into prejudice. These things, like unconscious bias trainings, are always utter shit, but at least well done, you're going with a quality good man. You're not focusing on anything in particular, and you're still trying to appease the people who can't be appeased, but you're not caving into them in its entirety. So well done for that, at least. I mean, this could still be seen as virtue signalling if you're feeling that way inclined. So, speaking to BBC Radio 4's Today programme on Saturday, Hancock said the Tories need to hold an inquiry on Islamophobia within the party. But he added, well look, I like Saeeda. She has a particular view on this. There are others who take a more balanced approach, he said. Yes, people who aren't so close to the case. Good job. Asked if he was saying she was unbalanced, Mr. Hancock replied, no. Read, yes. I'm certainly not saying that. I have an enormous amount of respect for Saeeda, but she does take a particular view. Okay, cool, you take a particular view. Maybe this is something that you should leave to other people. If you're too emotional about it and can't see the facts about the case. For example, Islam being a net negative on the UK. You could just go to... what about halal, for example, as an exemption into the law? So all animals must be slaughtered in a particular way. They must be shocked before they're killed because that removes the suffering. So, okay, cool, yeah, fair enough. Animals are important in human dietary needs. Very good. So, unless it's a religious reason, for example, Judaism or Islam. Judaism is not such a big issue, as in it's kosher isn't so widely practiced as halal is. Therefore, we'll deal with the biggest one first, and that's halal. And then that springs up everywhere, so much so that people don't even always say when their meat is halal, so you are supporting animal cruelty, even if you don't wish to. It's like, yes, we need to eat animals. Why can't we do it in a humane manner, or at least more so they don't know what's coming? Ideally, I'd go hunting, but of course, the banning on guns in the UK as well kind of makes it impossible. And then also trying to find a good place to go to, and just there are so many restrictions because bigger government is always worse. So he added, there needs to be an inquiry, of course, but of course, you can never say of course so many times, of course. Of course, you should look into all kinds of prejudice. I think that this is something that any responsible party always needs to be on the lookout for. But who are you going to get to do your prejudice? Because of course they themselves already have prejudging that they're doing. You can't win. Baroness Warsi, the UK's first female Muslim cabinet minister, responded with a tweet saying she was glad to have colleagues like the health secretary to educate on the issue after working in race relations for 30 years. Thousands of apologies, sir, the former Tory chairwoman added. Yes, chances are if you're in something for 30 years, then you're far too indoctrinated into it, like in academia, for example. So it's a load of crap. So she tweeted saying, thank you for whitesplaining this to me. Yes, someone who's so good at race relations is now just bringing race into it. It seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot about this. At least Hancock was going with actual points, and then was going, oh, it's because you're white now. It's not because of an ideology you adhere to. No, it's because of your skin colour, and that just makes you bad, despite anything you do. But yes, I'm good at race relations, me. So I think this just goes to show then that as a field of study, it's abhorrent. It just wouldn't be so bad if it was abolished. How about that? So I'm so glad I have colleagues like you who can educate me even after my 30 years of experience of work in race relations. Thousands of apologies, sir. Yeah, so utter cunt. Put it short. So, Boris Johnson said he would be looking into prejudice of all sorts. That is the inquiry. He's not going to make anything special about Islam because he's going to try and be more equal. So fair enough. So he'll be looking into Islamophobia and all other sorts of prejudice, including race relations. I'm sure she's pleased about that. But no, of course not. Because her protected class isn't being singled out for special status. So she doesn't like that. An equal rule? No, of course not. She must have special treatment. So she says, and lies, Boris Johnson has confirmed there will not be an inquiry into Islamophobia. Yes, there will. Yes, there will. It's looking into prejudice of all sorts, including Islamophobia. You fuckwit. She says, yes, disappointing, yes, predictable, yes, it's true my party don't give a damn about racism within our own ranks. We're only anti-racist to score political points. Do as we say, not as we do. Why anti-racist? Why not just not racist? Why not just let people do what they want to do instead? And then the people who are opponents, people slowly distance themselves from, like yourself, for example. And don't do as they say, don't do as they do, especially not with Baroness Warsi there. Baroness Warsi there. But that's it for now. That's her spreading her fake news. And we're going to get much more of this as the election ramps up. Just people trying to score political hit jobs and the smear merchants working overtime in order to try and enact their policies and try and get their people into power. You can't trust the media. We know that, of course. And that would include me reporting on it. You can't trust me either. Look into it yourself. But hey, if you find it entertaining, keep watching. So thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Share this stuff around because we all know the YouTube algorithm is going to throttle me heavily. So thank you for your continued support, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.